All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are talking about one of the most invaluable filters that you can put on your camera, and the effect can't be replicated in post. So a lot of filter effects can be replicated in programs such as Lightroom and Photoshop nowadays. Graduated filters, neutral density filters, that sort of thing. Circular polarizers, though, still can't be replicated, and it's one of the best filters to have on your camera. So any good photographer out there is going to basically just tell you that these filters are basically a must. These filters are incredibly handy for taking off reflections off foliage, leaves, water, that sort of thing. Even if you're not a landscape photographer, I mean, you can use this to take reflections off cars, product photography, even portraits. Sometimes you can dial down, anyone who has like really oily skin or something, you can almost dial back the intensity of it a little bit just to make things look a little more natural and to even out the exposure. The number one effect where you can really see this is blue skies. What it's going to do is it's going to cut out reflections and atmosphere, basically rendering the sky a little bit more blue. It also, I find, increases your dynamic range a little bit. It kind of, in taking out the glare, it doesn't have your camera work as hard as it has to. So you'll see a lot more color in your image. You'll see a lot more vibrancy. Just overall, so much more data coming onto your sensor there. Now, they are expensive filters. You can get them in different sizes. So I have basically a 72mm that I had on an old wide angle. And then I have like this little 1855, and I had one of these like 52mm versions lying around. They both do basically the same thing. This is a definitely higher quality filter, just glass, sharpness, light transmission, all that stuff. I do notice a bit of a difference on this one. There's other things as well that you can look for. I mean, polarizers are going to do basically the same effect regardless. Some of them will be stronger than others. What you're paying for, though, when you get into the higher stuff is better quality glass, coatings as well, just to help reduce flare, and dust, oil, fingerprints, water repellent, that sort of thing. They're going to be more on your expensive stuff as opposed to your cheaper alternatives. Now, my recommendation, you don't have to go out and buy a polarizer for every different lens filter size you have. Basically, what I like to do is get the biggest filter size that you have. In this case, the wide angle lens I had was a 72mm. All my other lenses are actually smaller than that. So this 50 here is a 58mm. And the way you get around it is basically these things. They're called step-up rings, for those of you who don't know. What it is just a piece of metal. It's a filter that basically increases the filter diameter from whatever your lens is and increases it to a specified amount. So this one here is from 58mm up to 72. And that's basically how I kind of fit, because otherwise this doesn't fit on here. Thread that on, bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. I have this polarizer on pretty much any time I do any sort of landscape work. It's just on my camera all the time. The benefits outweigh any sort of drawbacks or negatives it has. So you might lose a little bit of light. Usually I find it's around a stop of light that you lose. However, I'm on a tripod, so you're not going to really notice the difference in increasing exposure time that much if you need to. It makes the colors pop. It makes everything look better to me, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Go out, grab one of these, improve your photography a little bit. You will notice a big difference compared to not having one. And one more benefit, it's not a big one, but it does help a little bit. It's an extra added layer of protection towards your lens. Some people get UV filters just as like a lens protection thing. I was never about it. I'd always just put a polarizer on and then have that as my protection filter, I guess. And then you have the best of both. You get kind of a 2-for-1 sort of thing where you get the benefits of a polarizer and you get the added protection in case you drop it or smack your lens or whatever and whatnot. You can replace it a lot easier than replacing a whole lens. So that's just a little bit of insight to my favorite filter, and probably one of the only filters you actually really need for photography. The rest of them out there, you can get away without them. I'm personally a filter guy. Like, I like filters. If I can get the image as close as I can in camera to how I want, then I'm not going to have to do that much post work, which I love, because I don't like being on the computer and doing post and having to do stuff that it would have taken me a couple seconds just to put a filter on the front of my lens and then get the look over and done with. But yeah, I just like to get everything done in camera, so that's why I use the filters. But however, regardless of those other filters, get one of these. Get yourself a polarizing filter. Doesn't matter the brand. Just get whatever works for your camera and your filter thread size, and go out and shoot and have some fun. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope it helps someone out there learn a little bit more of photography. And yeah, if you want to subscribe and follow along, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.